Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our journey with the Certificate in Pedagogy Foundations. Today, we're diving into Pedagogy Foundations, specifically Module 1, Principles of Effective Teaching. Over the next few moments, I'll give you an overview of what you can expect from this course, including key concepts and strategies that will help you become a more effective educator. Let's get started. Let's start with an important aspect of pedagogy. It considers learner backgrounds and needs. This means that effective teaching is tailored to who the students are, their experiences, and what they require to succeed. Next, pedagogy shapes teacher actions and strategies. It guides how teachers plan lessons, engage students, and adapt to different situations. This approach directly influences social and political development because education plays a key role in shaping society and promoting equality. Now, when we talk about pedagogy, we're referring to the overall approach to teaching, the theory and practice of learning. It's not just about what is taught, but how it's taught, and why certain methods work better for different learners. Understanding pedagogy helps us see how teaching practices can support individual growth and societal progress. When we talk about art versus science in education, we're really looking at two important aspects. On one hand, teaching can be seen as a scientific methodology, where we rely on evidence and systematic approaches. On the other hand, it's also a practical craft, something that requires intuition, creativity, and skillful execution. Both elements are essential for effective teaching. Now, let's consider the character or the focus of education. It's not just about transferring knowledge, it's also about fostering social skills, emotional development, and psychomotor abilities. These are the affective and psychomotor skills that help students grow holistically. Speaking of knowledge, it's about the systematic transmission of facts and core concepts. This foundational element ensures that learners build a solid understanding of essential information. And where does the term education come from? It originates from the Greek word pedagogy, which means to lead a child. That highlights the idea that education is about guiding and leading learners through their developmental journey. Finally, understanding the etymology and aims of education helps us appreciate its broader purpose, not just to fill minds with facts, but to shape well-rounded individuals capable of thinking critically and acting skillfully. Let's take a moment to explore some of the historical perspectives on education. Advocates like Quintilian emphasized a gradual approach, focusing on developing the mind through rhetoric, science, and philosophy. He believed education should be a process that nurtures the soul, guiding students step by step. Quintilian even proposed a state-mandated three-caste system, which reflected his ideas about organizing society and education to serve different social roles. Moving back to the classical thinkers, Plato introduced the Socratic method, an inquiry-based approach where dialogue and questioning are central. This method aims to strengthen logic and critical thinking by engaging students in active dialogue rather than passive memorization. And of course, Socrates himself was pivotal in shaping these ideas. His emphasis on questioning and reason laid the groundwork for these educational philosophies. So when we look at these ancient roots, we see a common thread. A focus on developing the human mind through dialogue, inquiry, and a structured progression, important concepts that still influence education today. Let's explore how experiential learning shapes our understanding of democracy. John Dewey is a central figure here. He believed that learning happens through active engagement, what he called learning by head, hand, and heart. This means that education isn't just about absorbing facts, but about thinking critically, doing practically, and feeling emotionally connected to the process. Dewey saw education as a way to prepare individuals to participate fully in a democratic society. Moving back in history, we have Pestalozzi, often referred to as the father of modern education. He emphasized the importance of nurturing the whole child, mind, body, and heart, through hands-on learning experiences. His approach laid the groundwork for more student-centered education models, emphasizing the importance of real-world engagement. And then there's Comenius, another influential thinker who contributed to our understanding of educational development. He promoted the idea that education should be accessible and rooted in the natural curiosity of learners. His work helped shape the way we think about education as a tool for social progress and democratic participation. When we connect these ideas to our overall theme, we see that experiential learning isn't just about individual growth. It's about preparing active, thoughtful citizens who can contribute meaningfully to democracy. These historical perspectives remind us that engaging learners with real-world experiences is vital for fostering democratic values and participation. Let's talk about modifying resources to better fit our diverse classroom environments. This includes considering cultural norms, accommodating diverse learners, and making the most of digital environments to enhance learning experiences. Adaptive design is key here. It means tailoring our teaching methods and materials to meet these varied needs effectively. Now, when we focus on practices grounded in scientific evidence and supported by randomized trials, we can be confident that what we're doing actually works. This evidence-based approach ensures our strategies have proven results, helping us create more effective teaching methods. By combining inclusivity with evidence, we arrive at what I like to call effective pedagogy. Essentially, it's about designing teaching practices that are both inclusive of all learners and backed by solid research. This modern perspective on pedagogy emphasizes the importance of adapting our approaches based on new research and diverse student needs. When we do this, we're not just teaching, we're creating a more equitable, engaging, and effective learning environment for everyone. On this slide, we're comparing two fundamental approaches to learning and teaching. First, let's look at the discoverer, constructs knowledge side. This represents a learner-centered approach, where the student is seen as an active participant who explores and builds their own understanding. The student takes on the role of a facilitator, coach, or even an agent in their learning journey. Instead of passively receiving information, they're actively involved in constructing knowledge through discovery and inquiry. Now, contrasting that, we have the passive receptacle perspective, which is more teacher-centered. Here, the teacher's role is to disseminate information, often dominating the classroom with lectures and direct instruction. The focus is on teaching and delivering content, with students expected to absorb that knowledge. When we consider the process, learner-centered approaches emphasize active, self-directed learning, where students take responsibility for their understanding. In contrast, teacher-centered methods tend to focus on the teacher guiding the learning process, often through structured lessons. Finally, categorically, this slide highlights the difference between teacher-centered and learner-centered models. The former tends to prioritize instruction, control, and content delivery, while the latter values student engagement, exploration, and active participation. Recognizing these distinctions helps us understand how different teaching styles influence student learning and overall educational outcomes. Let's delve into some of the major educational philosophies that shape how we approach teaching and learning. First, we have self-awareness and humanities, which emphasize understanding oneself and exploring human culture, values, and history. This naturally connects to the ideas of individualism and free will, highlighting the importance of personal choice and responsibility in education. Next is existentialism, which encourages students to find their own meaning and purpose, fostering active testing and personal growth. Moving on, the focus on the whole child reminds us that education isn't just about academics, it's about developing emotional, social, and moral aspects as well. Progressivism is centered around student interest, promoting active engagement and experiential learning rather than passive reception of information. In contrast, the basics approach emphasizes academic rigor and mastering foundational skills, often through a common core of knowledge that provides a shared cultural foundation. Essentialism takes us back to the classics, advocating for the study of great books and Western classics to connect students with enduring truths and big ideas. Perennialism, meanwhile, focuses on a curriculum centered around enduring truths and great ideas, timeless concepts that stand the test of time. All these philosophies reflect different core beliefs about what education should achieve and how it should be delivered. They each offer unique perspectives, but together, they help us understand the broad landscape of educational thought and how it guides our practices today. Let's take a closer look at the contrasting classroom approaches highlighted here. On one side, we have a asterisk culturally diverse grouping asterisk, which values a variety of perspectives and backgrounds, enriching the learning experience. This approach emphasizes asterisk problem-solving focus asterisk, encouraging students to think critically and collaboratively to find solutions. It also recognizes asterisk subjective, relative values, meaning that different cultures or individuals might see things differently, which is an important aspect of global understanding. Moving to the other end, we see asterisk homogeneous grouping asterisk, where students are more similar in background or thought. This often aims at asterisk disciplining the mind asterisk, fostering discipline and focus within a more uniform setting. It tends to promote asterisk fixed, absolute values, emphasizing traditional beliefs and standards that are less open to change. The asterisk contemporary or changing approach reflects how education is evolving to adapt to society's diversity and complexity, making it more inclusive and flexible. Meanwhile, the asterisk traditional or preserving approach tends to focus on maintaining established norms and methods, often emphasizing stability and continuity. When we think about classroom implications, these differences influence teaching styles and classroom management. A culturally diverse, problem-solving focus encourages open dialogue, critical thinking, and adaptability. Conversely, a homogeneous, discipline-oriented approach might prioritize order, consistency, and adherence to established values. Understanding these distinctions helps us see how our choices in grouping and focus can shape the learning environment, either fostering flexibility and critical engagement or stability and tradition. It's essential to consider what aligns best with our educational goals and the needs of our students. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize that empowering learners to reinvent the world is really at the heart of modern education. Today's educators do so much more than just deliver content. We act as change agents, addressing social reform and working to promote equity in our communities. We also serve as mentors, supporting students' emotional and social growth, helping them develop resilience and confidence. Additionally, we take on the role of facilitators, guiding inquiry and discovery, encouraging curiosity and critical thinking. The key takeaway here is that the 21st century educator is no longer just a sage on the stage. Instead, we are adaptable, collaborative, and deeply invested in shaping well-rounded individuals who can thrive in a complex world. This evolving role reflects the broader theme of the presentation, how education is transforming to meet the needs of today's learners and tomorrow's changemakers.